What's up, ladies and gents? It's your boy Boss Noah with my co-host here on our first episode of our new podcast, Game Time. Please introduce yourself, co-host.
What's good, Cuddies? It's Isaiah here, and basically, I'm just a new recruit. I'm part of the new Boss Noah YouTube, the best YouTube in the world.
Yeah, love the support. Much love, much love. Okay, so as you guys can see, we are a sports podcast, and basically we're going to be talking about today. Uh, our topic for today is the NFL draft. That's what we're going to be talking
Top,
about today.
top picks and steals from the draft, too.
Yeah, like basically just everything about the draft. So, our first topic that we're going to be talking about is Shedeur Sanders falls to the fifth round and gets picked by the Browns.
That was a crazy thing. I mean, there was plenty of people that could have took Shador. Like, they picked, I mean, the Saints picked Tyler Show over Shador
Yeah,
Sanders.
that's one thing we're going to talk about too is why Tyler Show. I think we can just like combine these here. Like honestly, Tyler Show should not have gone before Shedeur Sanders. Like I get he may have had a bad interview, but that does not mean he's a bad athlete.
And even if anything, Jackson Dart, he's a decent quarterback, but I wouldn't say he's better than Shador Sanders. He can run with the ball and still throw dots. He's having perfect practice right now with the Browns, a matter of fact on that. And then you got other teams that who else were above him?
I mean, yeah, I get what you're saying. Like honestly, I really think the I mean, honestly, if you look at it this way, Jackson Dart did have a better combine than Shedeur Sanders, so maybe that persuades the Giants to pick Jackson Dart instead of Shedeur Sanders, but he shouldn't have fell all the way to the fifth round, I think. Like, the Saints definitely could have drafted him.
Yeah, the Saints would have had a great QB to build around. He's young. He's not 25 like Tyler Show.
Yeah, because there's veterans on that Saints team, like, like Demario Davis that can, like, lead Shedeur down the path. Like, there's veterans on that team that played with Drew Brees, like Alvin Kamara.
Yeah, you got like even Dylan Gabriel went above him. I don't see why the Browns picked two QBs. I don't think that was a great
Yeah,
pick. I think they should have took Shador in the third round and then drafted a good wide receiver that he can still throw with.
like, honestly, like, why take Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders? Like, why? Just, like, why? I mean, but, like, yeah, I think the Browns got a good QB. The problem is you guys already had Dylan Gabriel, and, like, eh.
And like the thing with that is that there was QBs picked after Shador, and plenty of teams that could have took him way before that. Like you had you had Kyle McCord to the Eagles. I understand they don't need a quarterback, but imagine Jalen Hurts teaching Shador Sanders basically the same body type as Shador as him. The Steelers, that was crazy. I don't see why they didn't take him. They took Will Howard. That's still a great pick, coming from an Ohio State fan. He's a great player. But just like the Colts are having a terrible QB problem. They've got one of the worst QBs I could say in the league. That's a starter. He had the last couple good games, but that's not good. He's already injury. He's close to get injured all the time, and for them to take Riley Leonard is disrespectful.
I'm gonna be honest though. Riley Leonard is a good quarterback. The problem is I don't think it's who the Colts needed to take.
Yeah, no way.
And honestly,
Like,
like you said about the Steelers pick, Will Howard, I believe, yeah, he's a good quarterback. Problem is, Shador Sanders has way more talent than him. No
yeah,
disrespect to like Ohio State. I'm just saying like there's a lot more potential in Shador Sanders, in my opinion, than Will Howard.
no, I can't say Derek Harmon. He's a great D tackle. Like, congrats to him going to the Steelers.
Yeah,
But and the Steelers didn't really have a second round pick, but I know they had a third. I'm pretty sure they had a third. I'm
yeah.
pretty sure they took a guard.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, they took a running back named Caleb Johnson over Shador Sanders when they could eat, and they've got plenty of wide receivers. I mean, they had DK Metcalf and George Pickens on the same thing.
yeah. I mean, like,
Sadly, George Pickens left, but
I mean, honestly, that's one of the big things too. Like, I don't know why they traded George Pickens away. Like, that's you're building up that team, and you bring in DK, and then you got that stacked wide receiver room, and you just trade George Pickens away. Like, what?
Yeah, that was crazy, especially when they got a new quarterback that is used to a good wide receivers on his team. I mean, he played with Jeremiah Smith.
Yeah,
He played with multiple wide receivers that were drafted. I mean, Ohio State broke a record of most players drafted in the same draft class.
I agree. Okay, well, moving on to our next topic, we have Matthew Golden picked by the Packers. Now, obviously, I put this one on here because I'm a Packers fan. We all know this, but like, I want to talk about this because this is like historic for the Packers because they have not picked a wide receiver in the first round since 2002, which is like insane numbers to think about. And like,
That is crazy. I think it was a really good pick. He's 5'11", he's 190 pounds. He's super fast. I mean, he's an effective route runner who he wins with his release 24/7. He explodes off the line all the time. And even whenever he gets off his break, like anytime he breaks the defender's ankles every single time. And if he has a chance to get that ball, he always takes for it. He ran a 4.3 40-yard dash. That speed, like, it shows up on the tape, and it gives his quarterback room to drop the ball on running vertical routes. Like, his QB should have enough time to just bomb that ball to him.
yeah,
And his jump balls, he's crazy at jump balls. Like, he's basically Garrett Wilson in other hands.
yeah, I agree. And like I feel like if Emeka Egbuka wouldn't have went to the Buccaneers, which honestly was like a weird pick for me, like I did not think the Buccaneers needed him, but like if he wouldn't have went to the Buccaneers, then I think you take Emeka Egbuka over Golden. But Golden is still a really good player, and like you got to look at it like this: the Packers after last season, you remember like the Eagles game, how and we were having trouble with injuries and wide receivers the whole season. Like in the Eagles game, we didn't have Christian Watson for one because he had already like tore his ACL. He was out for the whole playoffs, and then Romeo Dobbs had that whole concussion thing at the end of the season, and then he had another concussion happen in that Eagles game, and then Jaden Reed gets injured as well. So that's our top three wide receivers gone, and so everybody after that game was like, "We need a wide receiver. This is the perfect time to pick a wide receiver in the first round," which is something that you have not done in a long time. And yeah, I just think it's a really good pick by the Packers. Really good pick.
Yeah, like you said, Emeka Oguka, I don't think he's better than Matthew Golden.
Really?
No. Matthew Golden was ranked number 2 in the draft in his position. He was ranked number 23 overall in the draft.
Yeah.
Emeka Ibuka, he's like a Lad McConkey, like post day Lad McConkey.
Okay.
I mean, he's like, I think it was a great pick by the Buccaneers. Great pick. I mean, they have 3 solid wide receivers with a great quarterback. They have Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Emeka Ibuka. They've got a great tight end. They've got a great O line, D line, and even their QB. I mean, he's great.
Yeah. Okay, well, moving on now. Third topic is Bears steal Luther Burden in the second round. Man, this pick honestly was a really good pick for the Bears, I'm gonna be honest.
Yes.
Because like
I don't.
if you look at the Bears wide receiver room, they have an old and washed Keenan Allen, Roma Doomsday, who has potential. Like he can grow with Caleb Williams at that quarterback position, but we didn't really see it from him last season. And then they have DJ Moore, which DJ Moore is really good. Give him credit where it's due. But I think they need that one more wide receiver, and they got it out of Luther Burden, who is a really good prospect coming out of the draft.
100%. I agree with you. I think Luther Burden was a great steal. I mean, he was ranked number 6. He was overall ranked was 45. He had a grade 86. And well, for somebody I would compare him to is probably Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs was great with deep balls. He was great with jump balls. And Luther Burden just had it all. He's 6 foot. He's 206 pounds. He's a little overweight, but that's still great. That means he's gonna have great strength. And in the season, honestly, he went from top 5 to the second round, which I don't really understand because he was averaging 12.8 yards per carry. Like, that's a crazy amount. That means that's a first down every time he's throwing the ball.
And there were teams like the Chargers, because if you remember what the Chargers did in the first round, they picked Amari and Hampton, which they did not need a running back because they got Najee Harris from the Steelers in the offseason. And they could have picked Luther Burden, but for some reason, they picked Amari and Hampton when they definitely did not need.
Yeah, 100%. All I'm saying, Bears are making the playoffs next year. 100% making the
I
playoffs.
think so too. They could be like a 6 or 7 seed, honestly. Like,
They have crazy good wide receivers. They've got a great O line now. They've got great defense. I mean, Luther Bird, he's an outstanding after the catch. He's an open field runner. He's always open, and like even he changes speed well, and that can be really good for comeback routes and also post routes. But the way he could catch, he can secure the ball anyway. Like if that ball he needs to catch it one handed, he's gonna catch it one handed.
yeah, I agree. Okay. Next topic. Will Johnson falls to the second round and is stolen by the Cardinals. Man, this was a surprise to me because I'm going to be honest. I really wanted the Packers to get Will Johnson because we need cornerback help too. And I was like, please tell me he falls because he fell out of the first round. And I was like, please tell me he gets the Packers pick or we trade up and get him. But nah, he was stolen by the Cardinals and good pick by the Cardinals. Like, honestly, the
That was a
defense.
crazy good pick. He was like one of the top 5 picks. He was over Travis Hunter, and then he
Yeah.
just dropped. Like it was so weird because his overall rank in the draft I checked the other day it was 10. His position rank was number 2. Travis Hunter was above him, but also Travis Hunter is a two. He's a two player. He plays wide receiver and he plays cornerback. Of course, he's gonna
Yep.
be number 1, but he read that he could read a quarterback anyway. He had I don't know I'm not sure how many interceptions he had, but as an Ohio State fan, I hated seeing how Will Howard played against Tech because every single chance that Will Johnson was there, it was always blocked or almost literally intercepted. And he plays the ball not in man but combinations like he's really good on zone and he's strong enough to reroute and like stay on top of receivers and press coverage. I mean he's very good. He's 194 pounds. He's 6'2", and he returned 3 of his 9 career interceptions for touchdowns, and he
Yeah.
missed 7 games with turf toe.
And I'm gonna be honest too, like the Cardinals needed that defensive help, and like that was a good pick for me because there's that veteran Buda Baker there in the secondary that can help Will Johnson find
One
his way in his career and in that defense.
Will Johnson, it's kind of an insult, but he kind of reminds me of prime Trevon Diggs. Trevon Diggs could read the quarterback from anywhere in his prime. If that ball was coming his way, he had it.
Yeah,
There was no questions asked.
because I remember there was that one season, that one really good season he had a few years ago where he had like 7 picks.
Yeah.
And honestly, like the fact that he fell that far was a very big shocker to me because wasn't he like the number 1 ranked quarterback in the draft?
Yeah, he was the number 1 ranked corner. And he was his best year was his sophomore year. That's crazy. That's crazy. And he was ready he was a 5-star recruit too.
Yeah.
His best year. And that was he was conscious and he was an all Big Ten selection and an all first American team by Sports Illustrated. And he also played a key role in Michigan's national championship win.
Yeah.
Like he included a game changing interception in a national championship game. He is a clutch time player. I don't understand why people are not people are underestimating him. They're not taking him. They're not taking him. He's gonna raise a lot of eyes inside the NFL, bro. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
As a Bengals fan, I'm terribly mad that we picked Shamar Stewart over Will Johnson.
Well, speaking of Shamar Stewart, that is our next topic. Shamar Stewart goes 17th to the Bengals. I'm basically going to let you take over with this one. So,
All right.
take the reins.
As a Bengals fan, I'm terribly mad we took Shamar. I mean, right now he's not even gonna play for us. He already said it. He said, "I'm not gonna sit on the sideline and just watch other people play. I'm just not going to sign the contract." Like, how are you going to be so disrespectful as a rookie? You haven't even shown what you could do. You weren't even on mock drafts for a round 1 pick. I don't understand why we didn't take Mike Green over him. Mike Green he was a great D tackle. Or James Pierce Jr. James Pierce Jr. was crazy good. And we're having problems with Trey Hendrickson. Like, that would have been perfect. And
Either, like, in my opinion,
yeah,
they could have either taken, like, James Pierce Jr. or, like, the guy the Eagles got, which was a steal, in my opinion, too, Jahad Campbell. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw that. The thing that I don't understand is he wasn't even good in the combine either. He ran a 4.59. Yeah, that's good a little bit for an edge, but He jumped 10'11". Okay, that's pretty good too. But the best vertical jump, he got 40 inches. Like that's also good. But the thing is, he had 4.5 sacks in 3 seasons and just 11 tackles. He's not a good player. Yes, he's a good run stopper. Yes, he can hit hard, but he's not a good player. He's not a clutch time player like Will Johnson. Will Johnson had so many interceptions. I don't understand why we took this, especially with our quarterback problem.
Yeah, like,
Joe Burrow would 100% won an MVP seat last season if our quarterbacks weren't so trash.
I'm gonna be honest, like Shamar Stewart, he has the athleticism, like you said, he had a very good combine
Yes,
athletically, but the stats just aren't there.
he like his combine reminded me of Daniel Hunter.
Yeah.
Like he was good in the combine, but that doesn't matter. There's people that have been good in the combine and been terribly trash.
Yep.
Like another Bengals player. What was his name? They had like the second fastest combine time.
I don't remember.
Um uh I forget what his name was. He was a wide receiver in the old days.
Oh, started with a B, maybe? I don't know.
I think. John Ross, that was his name.
Yeah.
John he had a great combine. He was jumping high, he was jumping long, he was running fast, and he was just terrible what he doing. I mean, he didn't even have any good. Like he didn't have anything good. And AJ agreed. His combine was not the greatest. And look at an outstanding wide receiver he was for the Bengals.
Yeah.
He had the worst QB I've ever seen in my lifetime.
And
Throw
Dalton.
sections left and right, and then you had AJ Green just cooking.
Yeah, I
He
definitely
had a 4.62 dash, and he only had 13 reps on bench press. And he didn't. After that, he didn't do a single other combine.
I definitely agree with you on that one. Okay, next topic we have Jaguars trade up with the Browns to draft Travis Hunter. This pick was a great pick for the Jaguars, and honestly,
100.
like what the Browns did with their trade was, I mean, like honestly not a very good side of it. I think the Browns definitely lost this trade because the Jaguars, like we said, they traded up and got Travis Hunter, and then the Browns traded back to the sixth pick and got Mason Graham, which I don't even think they need him because you have Myles Garrett on the defensive line. If anything, you need like a running back or a wide receiver, which is why you probably should have taken Travis Hunter.
Travis Hunter was ranked number 2 in the draft over Cam. He was next to Cam Ward. Cam Ward he was a great quarterback. He impressed me and everything in college.
Yeah.
But I'm going to hurt a lot of people when I say this. Travis Hunter reminds me of Odell Beckham. The way he runs his routes, the way he catches, the way he plays is just insane. And as a quarterback, it's crazy. He's the first player that we're ever going to see in the NFL to play two positions, and he's great at quarterback. He's great at wide receiver. He's not just good at wide receiver and great at quarterback. He's not terrible at wide receiver and good at quarterback. He's great at both. That's crazy. He's outstanding after the catch. So he makes defenders miss and pull away. He's like Justin Jefferson, and if you mixed Jalen Ramsey in the same body.
Yep, I agree. But the one thing that I gotta say, if Travis Hunter is a one-way player, and I think this is why he said if he has to play one way, he's not playing, because he knows in his mind if he's a one-way player, he's not going top 10. He's probably might drop out of the first round because if he's a one-way player, he's not number one on defense and he's not number one on offense. But if you have him on both sides of the ball, he has talent and he's like, it gives him an extra factor over everybody else. You know what I'm saying?
100%. If they need if the number one person that would play defense, that's defensive player and not draft, is Abdul Carter.
Yeah, I agree. And honestly, you look at it this way: if we're comparing him on defense, quarterback to Will Johnson's better. Like, let's be honest.
100%.
But then, and if we're comparing him as a wide receiver to like Emeka Ibuka or Matthew Golden, they're probably better too.
Yeah, if he didn't play two positions, I think the Jags will let him play two positions. I don't think they're 100% sure on it, but
No, I think they will.
yeah, I think they will because he said he's not gonna play if he doesn't
Yeah,
get to.
yeah. Okay, next topic. We got the Giants address both offense and defense in the first round by drafting Carter and Dart. Man, this
This
was
was
insane.
raised by the Giants.
Honestly,
Uh
when they picked Carter with the third pick, I thought they should have gone quarterback. That was my initial thought because they still
huh.
I mean, their quarterback room, let's be honest, is still cheeks. Like, it's still very bad. But then they went out and they traded up with, I forget who they traded up with, but they traded up with someone to get Jackson Dart. And I was like, okay, maybe the Giants are actually doing something good with that front
They
office.
they traded with who was it from the Texans.
Oh, yeah,
They traded with the Texans for Jackson Dart.
yeah,
Like you said, I thought that they were gonna take Browns that take Shador, and I was like,
yeah.
oh, they just traded back. I was like, so the Giants are gonna take Shador. I was like, there's no way that they don't. And then I saw Dual Carter, and I was like, okay. I mean, he's great. He's a great defensive player, but like, what about your guys' quarterback? You have the the most confusing quarterback room I've ever seen.
Yeah,
Like,
maybe besides the Browns.
yeah, besides the Browns. I mean, you have Russell Wilson, Jameson Winston, Jackson Dart, and Tommy DeVito. What are you going to do with Jameson Winston? What are you going to do with Russell Wilson? Or what are you going to do with Tommy DeVito?
Now, I think one key thing here is I like the Jackson Dart pick a lot because now that they have that QB room, Jackson Dart can learn under Russell Wilson, who has won a
100%.
Super Bowl.
Russell Wilson, great. That was a great thing that they brought Russell Wilson. And even Jameson Winston. Jameson Winston, he was also super good.
Yeah,
He can even teach them.
yeah, I definitely agree. And the Abdul Carter pick, like honestly, I
And what
I think it's
I'm most worried about, bro, is now you're gonna have Abdul Carter, Kayvon Vox, Brian Burns, Lawrence trying to kill your quarterback.
yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Like Giants defensive line, probably gonna be one of the best in the league, and they also have, like I said, they addressed the QB situation too. And one other thing they did, this is you know who Cam Scatterbo is, right?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, he went to the Giants too.
I know that he's a great running back too. Tyron Tracy Jr. You better watch out, bro.
Yeah,
Cam's gonna have a
that's gonna be a really good young running back room. So honestly, I think the
They
Giants.
have a young team. They have Jackson Dart. They have Cam Scavato, Malik Neighbors. They have Wandale Robinson, Darius Slayton, Theo Johnson. They have Andrew Thomas. They have tons of young players. And their defense, Dexter Lawrence, he's 27. You have Brian Burns, he's 27. Bobby Oreke, I'm pretty sure he's 29 or 26. Abdul Carter, he's 21. Like Javon Holland, free safety, crazy. Like their defense is going to be one of the best defenses we're ever going to see in our I forget the word in our generation.
Yeah, definitely, I agree. Okay, next topic. Ashton Genty goes 6 overall to the Raiders. Man, this
Great.
was a good pick by the Raiders because if you think about it, you remember who their running back was last year? Alexander Madison. And man, they needed a running back. And let's look at the Raiders offseason. They brought in Geno Smith, traded away who'd they trade?
They traded. Oh, they traded. What's that one running back for the Packers? Oh no, he went free safety.
I forget who they traded, but they brought in Geno Smith and they got Ashton Genty now. And they still have
Oh, who did they trade for Geno Smith?
yeah.
They traded a second round pick.
Oh, okay. Well, you
Or
brought
no, a third round pick.
Smith, you got Ashton Genty, and you still have a somewhat decent wide receiver room. I mean, like Jacoby Myers shows some potential. I mean, like
Yeah.
the Raiders.
He's crazy. He was the third best player in the draft. He should have won a Heisman Trophy. If
Honestly,
Travis Hunter was playing both sides of the balls, it would have automatically went to him
yeah,
easily. Austin GT had better stats. He had the better fan vote. He had the better vote. He got robbed.
and I think that's the thing.
He had 2,601 rushing yards.
I think that's the thing too, because like you said, if Travis Hunter doesn't play both sides of the ball, he's not winning that Heisman Trophy. It's just because he did. That's the only reason.
Yeah, and it's crazy because Genty's ability to break tackles is crazy. His core strength is excellent.
Uh
He,
huh.
he had 2,600 rushing yards in the 2024 ranked second, and he's second in NCAA history behind Barry Sanders, the best running back in the NFL ever.
Uh,
And that's for the most in a single season. That's not college. That's a single season of 2,601 rushing yards. His stiff arms and his ability to shed defenders who fall wrap up for his legs. He's patient. He waits, and as soon as he sees that line, he's gone. Explodes upfield. And he didn't even run at the combine. But even the Raiders knew he was good. He had elite speed, and he catches the ball. He catches the ball perfectly in stride. If I were to compare him to any running back, it would be Alvin Kamara. They're both scary running backs with crazy amount of strength and crazy amount of speed.
I also compare him to like you said, Barry Sanders, like Emmitt Smith.
And yes, 100%.
Okay. Next topic, we got Will Campbell to the Patriots. That pick, I'm gonna be honest, like that pick is a really good pick for the Patriots. And their O line does suck. Problem is they have so many other holes to fill. So like, what do you think about it?
I think. Are we on the SGT?
No, we're on
Or
Will Campbell to the Patriots.
Will Campbell. Will Campbell's a great pick. Like he said, he's gonna fight and die for his team. He's gonna lead that team in heart, and he's not gonna let anybody touch his quarterback.
Yeah.
I'm calling it right now. He's gonna have the same season as the Bengals O lineman, the rookie, and he's not gonna let anybody through that line. And he's gonna bully every defender that tries to touch any of his players.
Huh. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think Will Campbell was a good pick, and if the Patriots, I didn't really pay attention to the Patriots draft class, but like if they addressed a bunch of those other needs in the first 3 rounds, then yeah, like Will Campbell was a really good pick in my opinion. It depends on how they built up that team this offseason, which I think they built up the defense decently. They brought in Stephon Diggs and they brought in Will Campbell. So like you're looking pretty good if you're the Patriots, right? You're on the rise pretty much. Okay. Next topic. Cam Ward and his future. So basically Cam Ward goes on to the Titans. Obviously, I think everybody knew the Titans were going to go with Cam Ward. It's
100%. I had it going one on my mock draft.
just like
He's
last year with Caleb Williams and the Bears. Everybody knew he was going to go, and it's a good pick for the Titans. I like it. And did you see that they picked that wide receiver that Cam Ward played with too? The Titans did.
yeah.
Yeah, I really like that.
I think it was a tight end. I don't think it was a wide receiver.
Or yeah, but he's going to have that connection with that guy now, and the Titans. I mean, I didn't really but I didn't hate what they did this offseason. Like, maybe try to bring in some bigger players and like you're you're getting it done, but like they're still in rebuild mode, is what I'm saying. Do you agree?
Yes, I 100% agree. Well, like this is like I said, he's got a great arm. He rips passes into tight windows. He's not scared. He's an escape artist. He can get out of the paint. He's like Lamar Jackson out whenever it comes to whenever he wants to sit there and get away. He's patient and he forces coverage. He waits for if he wants. He literally in the clip he stands there and just waits for a wide receiver to get open. And he threw 39 touchdowns and only 7 interceptions. That's great. And he didn't even run at the combine. He still got picked number one.
Yeah, like literally, you know what you just said, 39-7. That's literally better than most of the NFL quarterbacks last year.
It's also college and it's also Hurricanes. But
Yeah,
if I were to compare him to only a quarterback, and I'm not just saying this because you're a Packers fan, I think Jordan Love and him are kind of the same. They both have strong arms and they have above average mobility, and then with their flashes play and they have flashes of playmaking ability. Anytime Jordan Love has showed out, it's been either a really great pass or it's been a bad pass. And whenever it's a really great pass, it's crazy.
but
And
whenever
he's
it's a really bad pass, it sucks.
Yeah, and then they're both considered inconsistent decision makers, and like they're prone to turnover. They're prone to turnover worthy throws. But I view Love as a solid starter. Sometimes I'll say I don't like Jordan Love just to make you mad.
Huh.
But to be dead serious, they're the arm strength, their playmaking, their decision, their development. They both have the same scouting reports, basically pasted Jordan Love's and Cam Ward's, and perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree, and I feel like you said, when Jordan Love turns it on, he turns it on like he's good. But then when he's bad, he's really bad. You know?
Yeah, like I said, no way Warren Moon unsat there and retired his number if he didn't know Cam Ward was going to be great.
Yeah, yeah. Like, yeah, I agree. Why wouldn't he? You know? Okay, next topic. We already talked about Tyler Show, unless you want to talk more about him.
I'll talk a little bit more about him. He's not the greatest pick. He's 25. He's been in college for a long time. Yes, he has experience, but unless you're bringing him in there to literally just show off to sit there and show people, he backed Justin Herbert at Oregon for the longest time. He missed significant time with injuries in his 3 seasons at Texas Tech, and his best season in 2024. He was 6'5", 225, and NFL quarterbacks. He's for an NFL quarterback and makes some impressive throws. He passes in tight windows. He over the middle and drops the ball into the bucket throughout downfield. If he's either throwing a really good pass or a really bad pass. And he stands, even in pressure, somebody could be sacking him, and he throws perfect balls. But the only problem is he's super slow, and he's gonna be crazy to scramble for. If I were to compare him to any quarterback, to be honest, it's not even just because of his age. It's 100% Joe Flacco.
Yeah, honestly, like, I really think the Saints, since they had the opportunity, should have gone Shador Sanders, because
100%.
Tyler Show and Spencer Rattler are way closer in like like QB
Oh crap!
level.
Derek Carr retired.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. And
I didn't even
so
see that.
like now you only have Spencer Rattler and Tyler Show. And in my opinion, both of those quarterbacks are very close in like the QB competition in the Saints locker room. And I'm gonna be honest, that's not a good thing because Spencer Rattler is not very good.
Spencer Rattler is younger than Tyler Show. And I don't even remember what year was he drafted?
Last year.
Last year. Which means he was 23. If you're drafting a quarterback older than somebody that was last year, then you're just doing it wrong.
Yeah, you
You're
got
doing something
a
wrong.
problem. Okay, let's move on to the next topic. Opinions on Quinshawn Judkins and Shador Sanders.
I think it was a great pick. I think picking Shador. What just happened? From hard skills to soft skills, we don't just find the right talent, we find them. Okay, my bad about that. All right, but yeah, like I was saying, he like Tyler, oh crap, I almost said Tyler Show. Shador Sanders rocked. He was grabbed as soon as the Browns saw the chance to grab him. Yes, they already picked your quarterback, but Shador's 100% better than Dylan Gabriel. He should have been. He was going to be the third pick. No, he was going to be the second pick. And Quinshawn Judkins, he's crazy. He was the only running back to broad jump 11 feet at the combine, and he tied the second fastest 10-yard split with 101.51, and the third best vertical with 38.5 inches. At the position, those numbers speak to the lower body like crazy. Obviously, he's explosive. He's gonna get off the line. He's gonna get through the line, break through tackles. He hugs his blocks and runs behind pads. In goal line situations, Judkins doesn't have elite speed, but he's more than fast enough to break long runs with 4.48 40-yard dash. No way he doesn't break yard runs. He also catches the ball well. I mean, we saw him in the national championship. I'm sure everybody's watched it.
Yeah,
But he kind of reminds me of Joe Mixon.
I remember. Was Judkins at Ohio State? Was he the one that wore 32?
No, he was the one that wore number one.
Oh shoot, never mind.
That was the other running back.
Okay, never mind. Continue.
Oh, I'm done. You want to say anything?
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I do think it's a really good pick. Also because like you said, he can catch the ball well, and he's also like he reminds me a lot of Jahmyr Gibbs. Does you?
I want to say Jahmyr Gibbs because he doesn't have the speed, but I think really closely. I think I could see him as Joe Mixon.
Really?
Yes, coming from a Bengals fan, Joe Mixon was explosive, and he waited and waited, and then he would sit there and get through that line, even with the Bengals O line. I mean, you saw him in the Super Bowl. I
Yeah.
mean, it was crazy. Joe Burrow got sacked so many times in the Super Bowl. Like it was crazy. I think it was 7 times. Yeah, 7 times in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and it was the
It
sack
tied
that ended the
a,
game.
yeah, it tied a Super Bowl record, and it ended the game. Jamar Chase was wide open downfield for a touchdown, and he
Okay.
still threw. Joe Burrow still threw for 412 yards, but if they would have had a better line and they would have sealed that Aaron Donald sack, they would have won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I believe so too, probably. Okay, final topic. From Tiny to Demon on defense. I forget what this guy's name is, so you tell me. Wasn't it like Landon Jackson?
Yep, 100. That's Landon Jackson. Landon Jackson was crazy. I saw a picture of him. I saw a video of him, and I was like, "That's." He was the pads. He wasn't doing really good on the defense, but for him to go third, he went third round, and he was a great linebacker. And like he's not no edge rusher jumped higher than 40.5 inches, and no one and only one jumped farther than 10'9". He was great at the combine. He's an outstanding run defender, and he overpowers tight ends. If you're overpowering tight ends, you're a great D lineman. And when he lines up on the outside of the offensive tackle and gets a good push when he lines up on the shoulder of the offensive tackle, he locates the ball and gets off the blocks in time to make plays. I've seen tons of highlights of this guy. And as a pass rusher, he's powerful and relentless. He shoots his hair and drives blockers, and he mixes in the stab to rip and long arm moves. He's an effective inside out moves as well. And he's another underrated defensive end he kind of reminds me of is DJ Epinesa. He plays for the Bills, and last year he had 6 sacks, 23 solo tackles. He's not that great, but the way he could get through that line, it's crazy.
Yeah. I feel like you said, he could be somebody that's overshadowed, but he has the talent. You know, that's probably that's probably why he went in the third round. But he has that talent. That's why deal. You know.
Yeah, if nobody would have saw that video, I have no doubt that he would have went in the first round.
Okay.
And AJ Epinesa, he was crazy inside the college football. I mean, he was chasing quarterbacks down, and he was slamming into them as hard as he could.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so now our final topic. Uh, our opinions on our team's draft class. So I'll let you go first.
All right, I'll start. Bengals, what are you doing? Like, it was like, why Shamar Stewart? Like, I hate him. I don't understand why. Like I'm supposed to like him, but I'm honestly I'm giving a C grade. Shamar Stewart, dog crap inside the playoffs. Demetrius Knight Jr. He was a good linebacker. I saw some highlights on YouTube. He was a good linebacker, but I'm between a C plus and a B minus because they picked Dylan Fairchild. Yes, he's good, but he's not great. He's like there was the third round. There was people that still could have been picked. You could have picked Landon Jackson, in other words, or well, no, you couldn't because he was already gone. But you could have picked you could have picked let's see, you could have picked Kevin Winston from Penn State. You could have picked cornerback like Jacob Parrish or Nolan Williams. You could have picked Caleb Ranson. You could have picked anybody. You could even have picked Jalen Milroe. But anybody, Xavier Watts, even that. Like, but you're picking this old guard that we don't even need. We have a good guard that we just drafted. He's young. He's nice. Barrett Carter. I played with him in college football. I know that doesn't really mean anything, but he was good. He was great. I like this pick. It was kind of mid, but I don't know because my take the bank with Shamar Stewart, not like Shamar Stewart gives the Bengals immediate depth, but he also gives Cincinnati a long term starter no matter what happens with Trey Hendrickson. But he's he's not gonna be. He wasn't good. He made it very clear that the lack of production, 1.5 sacks in each of the 3 seasons wasn't a major concern, but Golden also said this guy's an ascending player right now, and a young man that we're really looking forward to work with. Which I can trust Al Golden. That was crazy. I did not think the Bengals were going to get Al Golden. That was crazy.
Wasn't he defensive coordinator of Notre Dame?
Yeah, Derek Carter. He's after getting 9th in the second round. It sets up the Bengals up in the futures after losing Akeem Davis and Jermaine Pratt. But Oreen Burks, who they signed in free agency, is also in a 2-year deal. Carter's been active in pass defense too. He had 5 or more pass deflections in each of their 3 seasons. Jalen Rivers, he's no tackle from Miami. He picks up some additional depth along the offensive line, but should provide positional flexibility for the Bengals, which is paramount for any reserve. He started his Miami career at left guard before finishing at left tackle. He's also teammates with Bengals second-year center Matt Lee. And Tajay Books, running back, we don't need a running back. What are we doing?
Dude?
We have Chase Brown. Chase Brown is crazy. And they used our final pick on that. In addition to Zach Moss and Samaje Perine, Brooks gives the Bengals depth and could replace the role previously held by Travion Williams. But he's also, I guess Tajah Brooks is also a Texas Tech all-time leading rusher. And he also had 20 catches in each of the last 3 seasons. But given what Coach McGuire has done at Tech, he should be he could be a good fit, but he also could be a mid fit for pass heavy offense.
Yeah, I agree. So now about the Packers draft. I'm just gonna list off all the positions they drafted really quickly. So we had wide receiver, gold first round, obviously. Then second round we went tackle Anthony Belton. Third round we went wide receiver Savion Williams. Fourth round we went defensive line Baron Sorrell. And then fifth round defensive line Colin Oliver. Sixth round defensive line Warren Brinson. Seventh round quarterback Micah Robinson, and eighth round offensive line John Williams. So let's talk about this. First off, why in the world are we drafting one cornerback? Why? Literally, our biggest need was probably cornerback, and we literally drafted one guy, Micah Robinson, in the 7th round.
I
What?
think it's
What are
because
we
of
doing?
John Alexander.
What?
I think it's because they were thinking about John Alexander and he just had an off season.
Yeah, but here's the thing. If Jair Alexander leaves, you're gonna need some quarterback help. And literally, they drafted 3 defensive linemen, 2 offensive linemen, 2 wide receivers, which honestly, you only needed Golden, in my opinion. You did not need Savion Williams. And 1 quarterback, which was Micah Robinson. Honestly, guys, we do need defensive line help. I agree.
There is something I don't understand about the Bengals. Joe Burrow is going to want a lot of money. He's going to want to get paid. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the draft, and we could have took Shador Sanders. That's another crazy thing.
Well, like I was saying, I get that we need defensive line help, but we also need quarterback help. So you have 4 picks there. You pick 3 defensive linemen and 1 quarterback. Why not balance it out and instead of picking 3 defensive linemen and 1 quarterback, maybe pick 2 quarterbacks and 2 defensive linemen, and even maybe don't go and get Savion Williams because I don't think you really need him. But I mean, obviously, I can't be too mad at this draft class because of the Matthew Golden pick. But I really wish they would have went some more quarterback instead of going so much wide receiver and defensive line and O line. Which honestly they went defensive line the most, which I don't think was a really good thing to target because Sure, they needed defensive line, but I just really think that they could have targeted cornerback more, if anything. But yeah, that's how I feel about it.
Yeah, like you said, you guys could have took corners because if Zion Alexander leaves, and like we said, Jamar Chase wasn't happy with us. I hope he's happy with us now. I mean, he just got paid big money, and I hope Joe Burrow decides that he wants to stay because we have a chance of winning a Super Bowl with him. He could go to the Hall of Fame. He's great. In a couple of years, he has a chance. If he can win some Super Bowls and maybe some MVPs, he'll be great.
Nah, he probably will go to the Hall of Fame, to be honest.
Because he's broken a lot of records that like Tom Brady had held. Like he's the only player to ever sit there and lead in everything and still miss the playoffs.
Yeah. I definitely agree.
He's like post day Drew Brees.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's gonna wrap it up for our first episode today. Thank you guys so much for listening, and make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel at Boss Noah.
Be sure to subscribe.
Make sure to follow Isaiah on TikTok at Isaiah Daniels SHS, and on Snapchat at Isaiah Daniels 16. And
Cody.
yeah, I guess we'll see you guys next time.
Bye, Cuddies.
See you guys.